everybody, welcome to Shayr's Hot Reads, bringing you the latest updates on all your favorite books, authors, and tidbits in the romance world. Today I want to share with you an interview that I had with Tara Sivec while I was in Las Vegas. And let me tell you, I think I want her to be one of my very best friends. Why? Because boy, can she keep a secret.
So the big news is that Tara didn't tell her husband Jimmy that she was even writing. It was on Amazon before he even knew.
Yes.
And let me tell you, they are like this. They are. There are no secrets, no lies.
No, there isn't at all. We've been together since we were 15. We met when we were 12.
Oh my gosh.
So, no, I've never kept a secret or anything, especially of that magnitude. Like, hey, guess what? I can write a book. And I did, and I published it.
I published it, and you didn't even know.
No clue. And I've always written things, short stories, poems, and I'm a huge reader. He knows. I drive him insane when I have my Kindle with me all the time.
Yeah.
And I just would always, when I would read a book, think, I wish it would have ended this way, or, I wish I would have changed this and made this a little different. And I would just kind of jot things down, little short things. And my first story ever, it was called Caitlin's Story. It was just so like, just blah. And I gave it to one of my coworkers to read, and she loved it. But it was so funny because sex scenes completely like intimidated me. Like I felt so weird, like that, like someone that I know would read the words.
Right.
So my sex scene was just like they kissed, and the room went dark. End scene. Like it was just like next chapter. Like I completely skipped over all of that because I couldn't even imagine. Even like a coworker, like I don't want her seeing. Like,
well, that is such a good question because this is one of the things that my husband and I have talked about. That right now romance it's really hot and everybody is loving it, but it's still a little taboo. Like a lot of us women are scared to tell people that we read romance.
Exactly.
And so, how did you feel actually putting it out there for the first time with you when you actually did write a sex scene?
Scared to death. I actually told my father, when you read this book, you are not allowed to look me in the eyes for at least 6 to 8 weeks. And we need to shake on this because this is going to happen. You can't, I don't even want, I just kind of put it out of my head. Like,
that's what
I just
having your family read it. I think that's the scariest.
Exactly. And I had to just completely put it out of my head and just think to myself, okay, nobody I know is reading this. It's just complete strangers and they don't know me and they're not going to look at me funny. And now, I have, my kids like are on soccer teams and baseball teams, and I have like the moms that are just like, I read your book, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
do they think that I'm doing this? I
don't
do this behind those doors, I promise.
I totally like own it now. I'm like, oh yeah, he's my assistant, and put your leg up here. Let's make sure this scene works well. Right. He's my stunt double.
Right. But I think that's part of it. You got to own it.
Exactly.
If you own it, I feel like everybody else will be able to own it
That's
because
exactly
we all
it.
want to.
Exactly it.
And so if we start just kind of getting together.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, people will say, when they find out I'm an author, they're like, oh, what do you write? I'm like, smut. And, like, my husband will be like, kind of look at me, I'm like, okay, contemporary romance.
Well, that's what I'm trying to come up with.
I don't care, it's smut. Yeah. But then I've had people who are just
good
like...
writing. You've really got
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
I mean, it's quick, it's witty. I mean, it's
Thank
not.
you.
It's, you hate to downplay it.
Right. But, and I do. I'm narcissistic. I think that's just by trade. That's how authors are. We always put ourselves down like, it's all right, it's smut, there's nothing else to it. But
I'm wondering if there is another word that we could come up with.
I know.
Romance, because when you think that, you're thinking like, oh, cheesy, violins, and
exactly.
There's a red rose.
Like you think of like Harlequin. When you hear romance, you think of like the quick little Harlequin novels and stuff. And so it's hard. It's hard to categorize it when indie is completely blowing up.
Yeah.
And there's so many authors out there, and we're all writing, in the same genre.
Exactly.
And you say contemporary romance, and people, same thing. They think like, with corsets, and, horse and carriages and back in the day. And, they don't think that
everyday people are doing this
exactly,
kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's kind of nice because with 50 Shades completely blowing up all over the world, like I get that
really
a lot too.
Changed the scene.
I get people who are like, oh, is it like 50 Shades? And I'm like the really, really funny version of it.
Which I love. Having your own take. Everybody needs to. That's the thing. They're all walks of life, and all of us are different. And to find your own voice within all of this, and still shine and find your place, is again, very refreshing.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for giving this extra little insight.
No problem.
This was so much fun.
Honey, say hi.
This is Jimmy.
Hi.
Hey.
That's Mr. Sivec.
Mr. Tara.
Mr. Tara.
Mr. Tara.
Sorry.
No.
Isn't her husband Jimmy so cute? I think they're the best couple. In part 2 of our interview with Tara, she talks about all the books that she has coming out, so make sure you check that out. I'm Shayr Guthrie, and this is Shayr's Hot Reads.